have an expiration date. You have to keep working on it. You can't grow and continue to live the life of a trash person. It's just not going to work. I don't know where I would be without God. I'm being honest. Like, yeah, I curse a lot, but I don't know where I would be without God. I truly get it. I mean, I empathize with you. I just feel like I wouldn't have done it that way. Y'all came back. Oh my God, I'm so grateful for y'all. I am so excited about the way the community is growing and how you all are telling your friends, your coworkers, your sisters, everybody that you think this is for. I'm so grateful. And I am even more grateful for my guest today. But y'all know how I love God, so let me go ahead and pray. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we thank you so much for today, God. We thank you so much for allowing us to plant our feet on solid ground. God, we thank you so much for fellowship. We thank you for discernment. God, we thank you for the ability to see ourselves. God, we thank you so much for never leaving us and staying with us. God, we thank you so much for the gifts and the purpose. God, we thank you so much for the mountains and the peaks and the valleys. God, we thank you so much for letting us see our fruit. God, we thank you so much for the power to pray to you, even if it's just thank you or I need you. And God, we thank you so much for that. God, we thank you so much for the open door that you always have for us. We thank you for your promise to us. And Lord, we thank you so much for overflow in our finances. God, we thank you so much for being so gracious, and we thank you so much for being consistent and committed to us. In your mighty name we pray, God. We thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Y'all, guess who I got today? Y'all don't even know. Like, this is so good to me. Let me just, we got Candice Denise. What you want? Candice Denise, Candice Owens, what you?
We're going to go by Candice Denise.
Candice Denise.
Easier
yes.
to find me that way.
Yes. I remember when I first met you, you was like, yeah, I'm Candice Owens, but I'm not that Candice Owens.
Correct.
I'm this Candice Owens.
Correct. And listen, hey, Candice Owens. It just makes it easier for people.
Yes. I'm so grateful that you said yes.
Thank you.
I'm
I'm
so
grateful to
grateful
be
that you said
invited.
yes.
I don't think that I said something the other day about being invited to tables.
Yeah.
And
that was a good one too.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that one because that was a good one.
I'm thankful to be invited to your table.
Yes. So Candice, we met at a photo shoot and you were not playing with me. It was like you studied who I was before you got there, so you knew what you were dealing with. You came there, you were like, Sherelle, okay, you can twerk for 3 seconds, but I need you over here. I need you here. And I was just like, I really enjoy this lady. And I respected your professionalism, but you also allowed me to continue to be myself.
Yes.
But she was like, listen, girl.
Yeah.
We are
time is money, honey.
You was like, you can twerk all you want, but you need to get over there and smile or smiles or whatever it is that
Correct.
you need to do. And I really respected that about you. I respected that you understood the assignment. Like the biggest thing is that you understood the assignment. There was no power control. There was just, I'm here to do my job and this is what it is. And that translates in your post on social media. Like, you are always displaying how you how you understood the assignment or how you're understanding your assignment.
Correct.
And that's just that's something that I've seen from you consistently, and I am so grateful to even witness that in person, to have met you before. And your energy is, when you came in the door and I hugged you,
you did,
I got so emotional.
You did.
I got so emotional. I was just like, oh my God, what is going on? I'm about to cry.
Yeah.
Because I felt, you and I had a conversation. I've reached out to you about helping me with something.
Yes.
I can't even remember what it was.
Oh, I do. Your women's conference, or your when you were bringing the ladies together, the lunch.
So it may have been something like that, or it may have been something writing something.
Okay.
A writing thing.
Okay.
Or something. And I needed some help with that. And you were just like, Sherelle, I'm not doing that. I am transitioning into another space.
Yeah.
And I just have to say no. But I can refer you to somebody. I was like, I'm good. I don't want them. I'll just figure it out.
Yeah. Right.
And so tell me what your transition was.
Yeah.
And why you told me no.
Yeah. So I told you and many others no.
Yeah.
So it was not an isolated no. I always tell people that. But my reason for doing that or transitioning was because I felt led to transition. And my friends tell me I'm the queen of pivot. So like if it no longer aligns, then I need to pivot.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. But I felt like God was saying, there's more for you, right? There's more I want you to do. And it's in a different way. And so a lot of times I think we feel like because we don't get to use the gift in this way anymore, we're not going to be able to use it. And God was like, the gift will still be there. The talent in which you're going to do it is different. And so there's a different vehicle that I want you to do. And so I felt like this inner growth in me that was leading me. And I did not know what it was. I didn't even know what the more was. I just felt like there's more. And it was really a test of my own obedience and my own faith. Because it was like, God, I'm about to step away from contracts and business and opportunities and money and eating and living and seriously. And God was like, but if you trust me, right? Do you want this or do you want what I actually have for you? And so there was a quote that I saw on a TV show recently, and I talked about it where it said, good happens fast, great happens slow.
Oh, my God.
And so that was really what I didn't know then was what God was saying. Like, you got good now, but I want to give you great.
Ooh.
And so it's going to be slow. And I lost a lot, business, money, situations, there was just so much loss, but I felt like this is what I was supposed to do. And so what people are seeing now is the outcome of the obedience that I'm still being obedient in.
Fruit.
Yeah.
You have grown your community exponentially. Like you have grown your social media presence. I can't even say triple, quadruple. It is bigger than that. Like it is exactly what you just described. It is greater. Like I see people repost your stuff from other pages, like people that don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
They're just posting it because you are here for an assignment and you are delivering messages that women desperately need. Need.
Yeah.
I want to talk about one of your posts that resonated with me the other day. And you were talking about changing and creating a routine before you were 40.
Yeah.
I'll be 40 this year. And it's so crazy, Candice. I decided in January that I'm no longer going to drink. I'm going to be sober. Like alcohol, I'm done. This is not a fast.
Okay.
This is not a fad.
Okay.
This is a lifestyle that I'm going to live, right? And so I said that I want to go into 40 being my most healthiest, being the best version of me yet. And when I saw your post, I was like, oh, shit. Oh, my God. I literally watched it. I just rewatched it because I was like, this is everything. What gave you that thought that before I go into my 40s, this is what I want to do? Because I know for me it was sobriety. So for you, what was it and why?
Yeah, so I think for me, reading this particular book, like the reference that I make in the caption is about two books that I had read, and I was referred to those books through a business coach that I was working with at the time, and she told us about those, and I was like, let me read them. And so I was reading that, and I was just like, wow, like it was giving me so much perspective, and I'm a big person on perspective. Like I think perspective is everything, how we decide to look at something, how we choose to see it. And so I was just like, I kind of felt like I was in this cycle of stuck, and I didn't know how to describe it to others, but I knew for me, I knew that this was not it.
You knew the feeling.
Yeah. And I don't think you always have to articulate it to others, but I knew for myself, this ain't it. And some changes need to happen. And so it was like, but if I want different, I got to do different, and a lot of times we want something else to change for us to change. And it's like, well, you control you.
Yes.
And so I didn't try to take a big leap because sometimes when we're trying to reinvent ourselves or do the change, we want to jump into the deep end of the pool.
Yeah.
And I said, let me start in this kiddie pool and just start with how I start my day, like how I even enter into the day. Because before it was just get up and go, right? Get up, brush your teeth, do all your things, and then go into the day. And I was just like, this just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like I should be spent.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, something's got to change. And so after reading those books and just seeing like, I want something different. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of going back into these same cycles, mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever they may be. Where do I change?
Yeah.
You know? And so giving myself the permission to be different, not because it was a trend or because it would look cool. It was just, this is something that I need to do for me.
Candice, oh God, it is very rare that and this is no shade to anybody. It is very rare that I encounter someone who I feel like is extremely self-aware. I mean, still working, right?
Sure.
Still working.
Absolutely.
But so self-aware of the things that you need to change and you need to change. And self-aware of not just these cliche ass sayings, but these things are real.
Very.
It's very rare that I find somebody who is going to put in that work. Like really put in the work.
Yeah.
Because when you realize that something in you has to change and you can't articulate it, it's hard because that's between you and God.
Absolutely.
And people don't understand that. And so the work that you put in
Yeah.
is hard. It is so easy to be trash.
Because I have been.
Yes.
Because I have been.
It's so easy. And you spoke about getting up in the morning, but Candice, that is not a small thing. We look at it as a small thing, but when you change that routine in the morning, your life changes.
Yes. How you see your day literally changes because what you're doing mentally for yourself is saying, I am important.
Yes.
I am important, right? Not that my family isn't, not that my friends aren't, not that my career isn't. What you're saying is that they are important and so am I.
Yes.
Not or, right? Because we think it's an either or. It's and so am I. And so if I want to be able to give the best to the day, but I'm a part of the day as well and I'm not giving the best to me. And so it was just like something so simple just was changing how I approached the day, right? So I'm less frustrated in traffic. Because I took a few moments. I'm less snappy on a call because I maybe took a moment to eat and, hydrate myself. Like these very small well-being steps really helped me to be better to myself.
I really want us as a society to get to that point. I just always feel like it could be so much better for us. The other day, I was trying to make it to hot yoga. And I laid in the bed, right? My alarm went off and I laid in the bed for just 5 minutes, 5 extra minutes. That caused me to be 20 minutes late for yoga. And they don't play. They lock the door.
Oh, yeah.
You're not coming
You're
in.
not coming up in here.
Especially not hot yoga.
No, you can't.
Because you're going to disturb everything.
Correct.
Right? Which I get. Because you ain't coming up in my establishment either. We on time in here. I got so frustrated. I was cussing people out in traffic. Oh my God, y'all go to work every morning. Y'all should know. And I'm blaming people, right? And I immediately caught myself. I called my husband and I'm like, it's me.
It's me.
I should have got my ass up.
Yep.
It's me.
It's me.
Oh my God.
I'm the problem.
I am the problem in this. And I am pissed off at myself because I reeled off. I reared off from my normal routine of just getting up.
Yeah.
And said, I'm going to give myself 5 minutes thinking, oh, this is my self-care. No, bitch, you were being lazy. I was being lazy because I wasn't tired. I just was like,
Yeah.
But that's not the routine that I have now in my life. And so I have to realize that once that I've created this routine, I have to stick to it. There may be days where if I don't have to do anything, I could just lay there. But if I got something to do, I need to be up.
Yeah.
Period. That's responsibility, being a mature adult and making sound decisions for myself, right? Because if I don't, then I'm going to have to check myself and be self-aware and be mad at myself because I didn't do what I said that I was going to do.
Yeah.
And that's very hard. It's very hard when you realize that you are the problem in this.
Yeah.
And a lot of people fail to realize that they are the problem. They are the ones creating narratives. I used to create. Can we talk about narratives?
Absolutely. We absolutely can.
Girl, let me tell you something. Them narratives will have you ending relationships that you probably shouldn't end because you have created a narrative. You have taken that person's perspective that you have no right to do and created a whole story for them.
Yep.
How do you stop yourself now from creating narratives in situations where you're unsure of what's going on?
Yeah. Ooh, that's so good, because I think it's easy to go down the rabbit holes, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the things I say to my clients, because I had to start learning for myself, is trap the rabbit, cover the hole. Because you got to stop that thing, right? So it's almost like the rubber band effect. Like you have a rubber band on your wrist and you pop yourself because you got it like, so as soon as I feel the thought coming on, I have to literally shut it down. That's trapping this rabbit. I can't let that rabbit get down the hole, and I need to cover it up. So therefore, that means I need to change the thought. Because if I find myself about to create a narrative, right, about something like you said, I don't know, I don't have all the pieces to the puzzle. One of the things I do is I try to put myself there and say, would you want somebody creating that about you? Like, because it has happened, right? And so understand the same thing that you're doing to someone else, you don't want it done to you. And we often say, don't treat somebody like you don't want to be treated. We're human, it happens. But that is how I've had to do it. I'm like, let me change this. Let me flip this real quick, because just because you're sitting on this side now doesn't mean you can't be sitting on the other side tomorrow, right? Today, hours later. So that has been really my kind of way of stopping myself from going down these rabbit holes. And especially because I'm like, oftentimes, one of the other things I've been doing is, and I share this with others, is ask yourself, am I basing this narrative on a fact or an assumption? And a lot of times our narratives are based on assumptions. If you ask yourself, you start calculating, you're like, but is this truly a fact? I don't know, right?
We love to fall for feeling.
We love to fall for feeling. And if even in the smidgen of you're like, well, if you can't say it's a fact.
As a matter of fact.
If you can't, then you need to pull back off of it. And that is really how I've been trying to be like, Candice, is this assumption or fact? You going somewhere that you don't even have the energy capacity. There's so many other things you need to be spending this mind on.
Yes.
Like there's a lot of other things. And if you just stay focused on what you need to do, you're going to get to where you need to be. But a lot of times we delay ourselves in getting where we need to be because we're focused on things don't need to be focused on.
Exactly.
And so that's another way that I just stop the narratives too. It's like, you got somewhere you're supposed to be. You keep saying you're on assignment, but you keep delaying and detouring your assignment because you are minding your business with something else.
Yes.
Like, no.
That's so good. That's so good. Oh my God. I just, right now in this moment, I just really, I'm praying for us. I'm praying for us women, right? Especially, everyone, but women especially, because we are growing in the days of everything having, we come from the days of everything having to be a secret. Don't tell your business. Don't say this. Don't do this. And you having to hold that trauma in your body. And so it's really hard to get to a place where you're self-aware and where you're working on yourself when you have all that shit in you and you can't release it because you've been taught not to do this, not to say this, not to say this, not to do this, not to stand up for yourself. And so many people are losing their voice. Yeah. And because you don't have a voice, you really can't even talk. You can't talk to God. You're empty. You know what I'm saying? You're empty with work. All you have is trauma and pain. And that's why I created, I don't know who this is for, to have people like you on to show women that it is possible. It is so possible to be self-aware, to hold yourself accountable, to do self-care, to do soul care, to do all of these things and live your life, live your best fucking life. You don't have to live being trash or blaming everybody for everything. You don't. I've been through so many things, so many things, and so many tragic things. And I don't base that off of a blame, right? It's something that happened to me, and now I have to get through. I have to grow through this thing. And it's going to take a lot for me, a lot of work.
And the work is real, and
Candice,
it's work and here's the thing, work, you don't even talk about work. Like, I don't feel like a lot of times the work that I've done, I've actually really talked a lot of, because it's one of the things I'm really careful about when I tell people, people like you should, being transparent. You should, but don't allow your transparency to trigger you. So yes, be transparent. But if your transparency is going to trigger you, then you don't need to be. And seek God about what you need to be transparent about. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I think we take ourselves back into places because we're sharing. It's like, I want to help somebody else. But you are still someone that needs to make sure that you're being helped. So don't, if you don't feel led to do it, don't, right? And it doesn't make you any less inspirational or impactful, or you can't touch. There are other ways that you can. And so being able to get to the other side in itself is just a blessing for somebody to be able to say, listen, I'm not in a place that I can fully share because it's still something for me that I have to continue to work through. But I will tell you that getting to the other side is possible. Yeah. That doing work is possible. Here's the kind of work I've been doing, right? And so the book that I was telling you about, which is You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, she says in there, it is not your fault if fucked up things have happened to you. It is your fault if you don't do anything with the fucked upness. Yes. Like with that, right? Yeah. You can't control the things that have happened. All of us. And even the things that you've done to people, right? So it's not always things that are being done to you. There are things in your own life, in my life, where I've had to work through and forgive myself for being ugly or not what I should have been to somebody else, right? And so you work through it in your own way, and everybody's process is different. Everybody's process is different. And so even when people talk about healing, I tell people healing is linear, right? It's not a one-way journey at all. I can't tell you how to heal. You can't tell me how to heal. All I can say is do what you need to do for you to get to where you need to be, And I have seen myself navigate things that I did not think that I could. And I think that's where the self-awareness comes from, because it's not that I don't have fear. It's not that I don't worry. It's just that I know that I'm not in this by myself. Yeah. And that's like literally what holds me. Like even coming here today, as I pray, as I go into spaces and places, I'm like, God, I'm feeling like Moses, right? Yeah. You sending Aaron with me. My help is with me. And so that's just how I approach life now. Like you're not going through things by yourself, Candice. There is help there with you. You can't see it all the time. You don't know it, but the help is there. And it's okay to fail forward.
Yes. My brother sent me a message a couple of weeks ago, and I'm the oldest of 6 kids. And so he said, I'm going to tell all of y'all what y'all mean to me and how y'all impact my life. And one of the things he said to me is, first of all, I'm the oldest and I'm the only one that's an entrepreneur. Everybody else has jobs. So I am like the black sheep. Everybody's always so worried. Just, nobody, they always feel like that there's no stability, right? When everybody is 9-to-5ers and stuff like that, they don't believe in entrepreneurship. So my brother said to me, he said, you give me a reason to believe the definition of hope.
Wow.
He said, you aren't afraid to fail. You will do anything. He said, your no's, the no's from people don't affect you. The no's from God affect you. And you will move only when God say move. And if you do move because you doing it from your own thing, you're going to know that before you move that God is saying no. Yeah. And that meant a lot to me, because that meant that he sees the God in me. Yeah. And he sees that everything that I'm doing is what I feel to be purposeful and to be impactful because of the fucked upness that happened to me. Right? I'm not trying to I try not to allow my trauma and the things that has happened to me make me a fucked up person all the time. But sometimes I apologize. Yeah. Right? And I know that I fucked up. And that's just what it is. But it's also me being self-aware. And it's also another part. Like I will try. If God says yes and it seems crazy, I'm still going to do it. Yeah. Because if I don't do it, I am going to regret that I did not do it. Yeah. Right. And I'm not afraid to fail in front of anybody. Right. I'm not afraid to fail. I know that it may happen because I'm not supposed to be doing every damn thing, and that's creative. Sometimes we have our hand in too many things. Do you ever feel like you are overwhelmed because you took on too much?
I used to.
You said no, not today.
Not today. Not today. Today. Not today. Today. I used to.
Yeah.
But just like elevators have capacity, so do we, right?
Yeah.
When you get on that elevator, it says 400 max pounds. That's how I feel about things. When you start taking things on, it will shut you down.
Yes.
And so I used to, until I was hospitalized for 3 days and thought I was having a stroke. And it was actually just stress.
Jesus.
And they did every test. I got a hospital bill from here to forever. But they were just like, you're too young. What is happening? We don't understand. And I was just like, I don't either, and all of that just to find out it was stress. And so that was by force. That I had to learn that lesson. And I often tell people, take care of you, recognize your capacity now by choice. Because if you don't, life will force you to. And so I realized I can only take on so much. And especially because I'm a solopreneur. It's just me at this moment. So those emails, those DMs, that interaction, engagement that is me doing all of that. And I want to, but I know my limits. And so that's why boundaries are important. And that's not about anybody else, right? Your boundaries are not meant to control others. It's about me. And so I'm like, if I can't take this on, I'm okay with saying I can't. I had a friend the other day, a very good friend of mine, and she reached out about an opportunity, a project she's working on. And I said, I would love to. I said, but at this moment, my plate has enough pieces. And not that the plate is so full, because I've learned to not let the plate get but so full now, right? So it's got I got portion control.
Portion control, yes,
right? Like with
that's
our food,
good.
I got portion control now.
That's good, yeah.
And so I'm learning to exercise portion control, not in just what I eat, but what I eat, what I take on.
Yes.
And I think that has made a world of a difference. And people, like you said, respect it. Also because the way I'm coming at it, it's not like, no, I'm not doing it. Like, that's just not my vibe anyway. That's just not who I am as a person. I'm from Baltimore at the end of the day. We're very much so kind of just like straightforward, down to earth, for the most part. And I'm just like, I would love to, but I can't, But I did I said, but here are two people that I think could. I'm always I want to see people win. I want to be a part of things, but not at the expense of myself.
Yeah, and you have to be very selective on what you put yourself in, because it will you're going to sacrifice your peace. I'm not in the business of that anymore.
Yeah.
I told my husband, I'm telling you, at the beginning of this year, we walk every morning.
Okay.
That's one of our things that just helps, right?
Yep.
I told him a couple of days ago, I said, this is going to hurt me a little and other people a lot, because people aren't used to me saying no. Yeah. And I'm getting very comfortable with removing myself from situations, from places, from people, because it doesn't serve my purpose. It doesn't serve my lifestyle anymore. Yeah. And that's okay. It's no beef. It's just that I can't do this. I can, but I'm choosing not to do this, because if I do, then I won't have the peace that I have. And I don't have insomnia anymore. I've had insomnia for over 10 years. This year is the first year that I have slept 7-8 hours a night in 10 years.
Wow.
I'm not sacrificing that.
Yeah. I
feel good getting those hours of sleep. I haven't had that in so long.
Yeah.
That is a luxury for me now. You know what I'm saying? I used to crave sleep. I would get 2 or 3 hours a night. My husband would wake up every night. You can't sleep? No, I can't. I don't know why I can't sleep. I'm just sitting here. But I knew what it was. I was consumed with other people's shit, other people's problems, people pleasing. Being in places that I know that's not serving me, but I'm battling myself, because I always knew what God was saying. Right. But it's that people pleasing thing. Oh my God. Candice. Candice. No, for real.
It's big. I get it. I do.
That people pleasing spirit is one.
There's something that you just said just now when you were saying about, you don't want to sacrifice your peace, right? Like if it doesn't serve me, and I told you I'm about perspective, but I also realize maybe where I am is not serving that person. Yeah. Because sometimes we make it about, I don't want you to disturb my peace. I'm like, but maybe who I am now might not align with who you are.
I know that for
where
sure.
you are, right? And so it's not even about you being I don't even have the space to try to break things down in this negative way. I'm just like, dude, where I am may not serve you either. So I'm saying no, not just for my benefit,
for you too,
but for you too, because how I move or how I'm thinking, and it may frustrate you. It may not align with your vision, your goals. And so sometimes, as I've often said, storms don't always come to tear things down. Sometimes they clear things out, right? And so to your point, even with people pleasing, I think it takes a while to get to a place where we are not trying to see ourselves through the eyes of someone else, right? Because think about it. When people tell you, you are so beautiful, right? We take on that compliment, thank you. But they'll say, your eyes are so beautiful. And so you go around thinking your eyes are beautiful because other people have told you that. But it's like, when do you take the time to be like, well, what is beautiful about me, right? I say that to say we're oftentimes seeing ourselves through the reflection of somebody else.
Welcome to Content Incubator HQ, a creative's paradise. Content Incubator HQ is a content creation studio located in Atlanta, Maryland. Are you ready to elevate your content through storytelling? Learn more about our studio amenities and membership packages at contentincubatorhq.com. Follow us on all social platforms. We can't wait to host you soon. And remember, you are the content.
And I think that's where the pleasing comes into, because we're so used to other people kind of telling us who we are, what we are. And so we try to live up to that, right? So other people say my eyes are so beautiful. So let me make sure I do things to my eyes. Let me make sure I make my eyes glitter, and, because that's what other people have said. Make my lash a little longer, do this shadow, because people have told me that. And so we want to please into that. But it really lands into the point of when you start to just step back and take a look at yourself. Like you said, become self-aware. I think the people pleasing releases a little. And a lot of that is rooted even in childhood things.
Yes.
That some people, they wanted to get the attention or the approval of their parents or their caregivers, right? I wanted to always be a good student or the good sibling or whatever have you. For others, it was maybe in school, a teacher told you that, you were never good enough. And so you wanted to please them and show them that you were good. And so a lot of times what we deal with at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, whatever, might be something that, teenage you is still navigating, and adolescent you is still trying to get the pleasing of that person. And I think it's a real thing. And I don't think it deserves you beating yourself up for it. Not you, but I'm saying people,
in
right?
general, yeah.
Because it's real.
It is a real thing. And when you say that, it literally, so crazy. It literally took me back to 7 years old. So 6 years old, me finding out my mom was pregnant again. And I'm like, this lady, we were just talking about this. This lady, when are y'all going to stop having kids?
Do we not have enough?
Do we not have enough? And I said this to her, and she looked at me, and we haven't talked about it. But I said, when am I going to have my time? I was 14 months and my mother had my sisters. I have a set of twin sisters.
Okay.
My mother had my sisters, and then another 13 months she had my brother.
Yeah.
And so I never felt like I got time with my parents. And I don't remember that, right? I don't remember the time that I had with them because I was a little like a toddler, right? And so I just always felt like I never had time with my parents.
Yeah.
It was always more kids. That day I found out she was having my brother, I went to school and I told them that they need to call CPS, a 6-year-old.
You said, I've had enough. Today is the day.
Them under control.
I need a place where I can be where the attention
See
is.
me.
Yes, see me.
See me. And that's where it started, Candice.
See me.
See me.
So this is so good that you say that, because I feel like as adults, when we grow up, a lot of times that's what we're looking for in our friendships and our relationships, even in our workships, right? At work, I want someone to see me. That is something that you'll hear people say oftentimes, like, I love it when people see me.
Yes.
And to your point, it might be because they weren't seen as a child, not because the parents didn't want to, but they didn't have the space to see you because
the time,
right? Some parents, I grew up in a single parent household. So if they're working, trying to maintain, trying to take care of, can't give you the attention I want to, right? And so it is those things that linger, you know, and it affects our well-being.
Yeah.
It affects how we move in our day-to-day.
How we think,
how we treat people, because
how we react. My God.
How we react.
How we react, Candice.
How we react.
Because that is crucial.
It's so crucial. It's so crucial, though.
I've put a lot on just in my intimate relationships. I've put a lot of, I believe that is unwarranted, like trauma, because my parents did the best that they could. They didn't, they weren't having kids to not pay attention to me, or to not see me, right? That's just that was their journey.
That was their journey.
And so, because see me has always been a thing, was always a thing, that it would be a lot. See me, right? See me with this, see me with this, see me with this. And it was because I just desired to be put first. Can somebody put me first? Can somebody make me the first person that they think about? You know what I'm saying? And that will feel good for me if you made me the first person that you thought about, right? Yep. And that is, when I think about it, it really does make me sad for younger me, because living through that, I know I felt it. Yeah. Because at 6, I'm going to school asking them to call CPS. Correct. Like, why do I even know this?
Right. Why? Do you?
I must have reached. Let me tell you something.
They had taken you in. They had taken you somewhere that you done went and found the information to get up out of here.
I was planning my escape.
Most people just run away. You said, no, I want
get them
to come get me.
Exactly. And so that see me thing, it has taken me up until I'm 39. It's taken me up until now to realize that God sees me, and He's always saw me.
That's so, like, yes. And I know for me, one of the things that God whispered in my ear some years ago was, you're waiting on others to choose you, and I'm waiting on you to choose you.
Me. Oh, yes.
Choose yourself. I'm waiting on you to choose you.
Oh, my God.
Like, Candice, I need you to choose you, because then everything else after that is not necessary, right? So if someone doesn't choose, you're not sitting there feeling like pick me, right? It's like playing. I've always been the shortest in my class, right? Like, because I'm a short person, so like on teams, I was always last to be picked because I'm shorter, right? So it's like, no, we want somebody more, athletic, build, tall, and so it was like the pick me. But for me, it was kind of like the inverse. So okay, So I just went to my own kind of lane, just kind of marched to the beat of my own drum, and it has its benefits and it doesn't, right? Because sometimes I get so engrossed in being like a loner, like I can be, that I have to work on putting myself more around people, in places. And I think that comes with trying to protect yourself too.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But finding the middle ground, I think even in now is where I am, because I'm very much so like, for as people-y I am, and I can talk, I very much am a to myself person. I'm very much an introvert. Like my friends, they tease me. They're like, you're like Beyonce, okay? Like Beyonce don't come to everything, Candice don't come to everything. Like she the invitation, I'd be like, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm probably not gonna make it, but I thank you so much. like I'm honest, I'm probably not gonna make it. But I really, like, is there a donation I can get? That's just not where I am.
I'm not gonna be there, okay?
I got a lot of stipulations with myself. That's not your bit. I shouldn't put that on you. With the meals, is the seating. That is not on you.
What is parking like?
Because I'm going to loop up out of there. I promise I'm going to loop. If I got to loop too many times, I put this on a post. If I got to loop too many, I'm looping it out of there. So I understand I'm not the pick me, but I felt like there were times that I was. And I think mine transpired from not having my dad. And so I wanted that pick. And everybody has a different journey. I am grateful that I can sit here today. My dad transitioned home two years ago, but I can sit here today thankful that we healed. That the last 4 years were spent healing, unbeknown to either of us, right? And so one of the things that I was able to do was recognize that my father had his own journey that he was navigating, right? And so it wasn't that he didn't want to be a father. He had his own struggles. And the same way we sit here as adults now, right? Like I think about when my dad was 44.
Yeah.
You were having struggles.
Wait, you're 44?
I am.
Candice. Get the hell out of here, Candice. Candice. You are amazingly beautiful. You are aging well.
I'm just trying to
You are giving 25.
All right, shoulders. This back did not yesterday. The back said 44 yesterday. But no, thank you.
So good.
Thank you.
You look so good. I'm sorry.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Y'all, this is 44.
This is 44.
Get your shit together.
Take care of ourselves by choice.
Yes.
But I think, I'm like, Dad, when you were this age and how I think I journey to things, I'm like, and I journey them without children.
Yes.
I can't imagine journeying certain things that I've had to go through with children. And so it takes a lot to have to change perspective to, again, putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, because it's real easy for us to make judgments and thoughts from here.
Absolutely.
But when I gave myself, like, I need to understand you. I need to understand where you were. I needed to have like this conversation. And we had a breakdown before we had a breakthrough. So it wasn't one of those, we came to, no, it was, my father had approached me, like, no, it did. I mean, he had approached me. The conversation was like a dude on the street. Like he had talked to me like a dude on the street. And I remember because it's 6 of us too.
Oh, wow.
I'm a middle.
Okay.
And I remember my middle brother seeing it. And he jumped in and he walked and got my dad. He said, no, I'm not dealing with this. I need to talk to him. And he took my father out and talked to him. And they were gone for a minute. And I remember my father coming back in, and he was in such a different energy. And he was like, can I talk to you? And I said, you can, but understand whatever energy you bring, I'm going to probably join that energy. Because at that moment, we were here. Yeah. And he said, one thing is I didn't even realize how feisty you were. And I was like, I am half of you. Like good, bad, and different. I am parts of you,
yes.
Right? And I've learned to actually love those parts of me that my dad left me with. But it took time, and we had just, oh my God, just a conversation that I never thought we would have. And my dad said to me, I'm effed up, and I've effed you up in ways that you didn't even ask for.
My God.
That was the first thing he said to me. I've not shared that publicly.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
Yes.
Because I did not ever think we would get to a place where we would heal. I did not ever think I'd get to a place where my father would see me. And he did. And I was grateful. But I had started seeing myself before that. And so this was just, younger Candice was grateful, right? Because this Candice was already fine. But I'm glad that God gave us the space to do that. And from that moment on, I said, we're not going to be father-daughter of the year. We're not going to be that. We've lost that. But what we can be is get to know each other where we are now. Thank you. And we can, we can build from there. And I said, now we'll, again, meet your energy. And so we made a commitment to start small, just to touch base once a week. And once a week turned into a few times a week, which turned into more. And that was a huge part of a lot of the pieces of me that I did not know were broken. And so I was still chosen even though I was broken. Yeah. And I did not even realize that was a thing. But God was like, I'm still going to use you.
Oh, wait. Oh, my God. Still chosen, even though you are broken, is so good.
I was broken.
Yes, that's so good, Candice.
I was broken. And so, and because of my brokenness, it caused me to make decisions, make mistakes, hurt people, just all kinds of things that I did not mean to, but intention doesn't matter. Yeah. Things still hurt people.
Yes.
and I had to work through those things, and I had to work through that relationship with my dad, and it was just, I'm so grateful. So a lot of what people see today is the behind the scenes work, right? It's the therapy that I sat in. I was meeting with a therapist daily. At one point, I was talking to my therapist daily.
Oh my God.
Went from daily to weekly, literally from weekly to monthly. Like, I went through deep work that I had to do on my own.
In the trenches for yourself.
In the trenches for myself, by myself.
Yes.
I wasn't sharing this with my friends. They knew, they would check when I would say, hey, I'm fine, but I'm in a space right now where I have to be isolated.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my dad more. I was learning more about him, which helped me to learn about me.
Yes.
Things that I did not know that he navigated, that I'm like, wow. The mirrors.
Yes, my God, the mirrors, girl. We need them. We need them, Candice.
And when I tell people all the time, I'm like, if you still have the parent that there's some brokenness, or anybody that there's a level of brokenness, do your best to try, right, to heal. You don't have to be perfect in it, because I said to people, like, we weren't perfect, but we were perfect in how we found a way to love each other in this space, in this life. And the same person that I ran from, like, I didn't want to be around my dad. When he would be around us, I did not want to be around him. Was the same person who, in his last hours, I ushered him home. I was the last one to be with him.
Oh my God.
It was so surreal that God, like, chose me that day.
So
I woke up that day and went to the hospital. I was like, I should just probably go see Dad. And unbeknown to me, he was taking his last. And none of my siblings were, nobody else. They were there earlier, but in that time, and it was like, and I said to him, as my dad was there, I said, I've always wanted that daddy-daughter dance. I said, I guess today is the day we dance.
Oh my God.
And I literally said, this is our dance. And this was more powerful than any dance we could have ever had. And so thank you for accepting my apology, because I had to ask him for forgiveness.
Yeah.
Because there were times that he extended his hand to me and I wasn't ready. So as much as I needed him to apologize to me and take accountability, I too had to take accountability. And that's why I say, like, it's so easy for us to say things about people when you just don't know.
Don't know. You have no clue. This is so powerful. You said something in this. You said that was for the little girl Candice.
Yeah, that wasn't for the Candice where I was today, because this adult Candice had chosen herself. I had understood that, but there was still that Candice that was still sitting there wanting that peace, right? And so I wasn't letting her lead this Candice. And I think sometimes that's what we do, right? We let that version of us lead this version. And I was like, no, I gotta make decisions for me at this adulthood, and I got to work for where I am. And when it's time, I'll address those things, right? I wasn't hiding, I wasn't pushing it under, but I knew it just wasn't time.
Yeah.
And the time presented itself for me to help her get what she needed.
The little girl in us that holds that space of pain is so important to try and help her. Because even in our healing days, in our healing processes, she's still there. And I always imagine her just sitting in a room, in a chair, just crying. That's how I imagine the little me. Alone, just crying in a chair. And I'm like, I always want to hug her. I tell people all the time, I just want to hug the younger me. Because some days I can still feel that. I can still feel that pain. It's like it's happening right now. And so when you were saying it was for the little girl in you, that was so good. And it's so good. The better part of it is that you were able to differentiate Candice now and the Candice then, so that it doesn't affect you in a way where you're paralyzed now with depression.
Yeah. And the blessing is that, especially with my dad, I think because I still had father figures in my life. You know what I mean? So I never felt like I was short-sighted on that. Lacked. Exactly. My uncles really stepped in like fathers for me. And so I think that still allowed me. I mean, heck, my one uncle was the one who took me to college, like drove me, dropped me off, and was like, do what you're supposed to do. Yeah. Be good.
Exactly.
That's it. That's it. That's all. And he was in the Marines, so you can imagine. He's like, do what you're supposed to do. All right. Thanks.
Yes, I love you.
Right. My mother's like, I got to go. The ride is leaving. Girl. Okay. So I still always felt like I had that.
Yeah.
But I just, that I knew that part, I knew little her. And I think that, you know, I just, I never forgot about her. But I was like, if we're going to move forward, I can't let you lead me. I can't let you lead me.
Yes.
Like, there's no way we're going to move forward. And I've always felt like God was always saying there's more, right? And there are times that I wasn't listening to God. I was not obedient. I was out of the will. I was out of the way.
Yes.
And when you are covered and when you're protected and God's like, listen, I'm going to give you this opportunity. You going to get in alignment or what?
Ooh, girl.
And I'm like, but it comes with chastisement.
Yes.
It came with chastisement, you know?
I know.
It came with a lot of loss. And God sat me down. And my favorite scripture is be still and know. Ooh. Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I'm God. And I felt like I was put in a still season. And it's just now, like, honestly, why I think the fruit is being seen, that God is like, now I can let harvest happen again. Like, I took you away. I made this a dry season for you.
Oh, my God.
I made it dry for you because you weren't in my will. And so it was very much so. So that's why I'm telling people, like, this is literally obedience. That's why. So the community is growing because of obedience, not because of me, because of me being obedient. And so that's it. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I don't have anything to do with it.
People don't realize that when they see your posts that you're making, which are awesome, always, it's always a really good message, right? They just really don't realize that work that you had to put in. That work is treacherous. It gets dark. It gets lonely. It's sad. It's frustrating. It's heavy. It's a burden. It's lonely. It's all the things that people run from. But you have to feel it.
Oh, my God.
In order to even start to smell the fruit.
Yes. Yes.
Before you even say, you just want to smell it, like, God, please just let me smell the fruit, please.
Please.
I'm tired of smelling this dumpster juice. Can I please smell the fruit?
No.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting. And I got video footage of, like, I recorded myself. Instead of journaling, I did video journals of me. So I kept them for myself so that I could document and see me in those moments, see the tears, see the anger, see the frustration, see how I put myself here. Like you said, taking onus, like this, I put myself here and I got to deal with it. It doesn't make it easy
at all. But
now looking back at those, when I tell you, and it still worked. This is the thing I want people to know. Like, it didn't stop. It was course corrected.
Yes.
Right? My pencil needed sharpening. I got course corrected. And now that I'm course corrected, stay corrected.
Stay corrected.
So that is so the work is now just different work.
Yeah.
It was, I had to go through that part to get here. So now it is obedience work.
Yeah.
Staying obedient, right? So not just praying, but just in how I'm interacting with people, how I'm treating people, how I'm treating myself, the decisions that I'm making, the decisions that I'm not making, the mindfulness, am I being mindful? Like all of these things that I have to do every day to show up in life, not even for the community, just show up in life.
In life, yes. I can feel that you are a worker of yourself in every aspect that you do. Even your emails, how you respond to emails, how you respond to text, how you came in here today. I can feel that you are a worker of self, and that's what I was saying earlier about it's so rare to meet people like that. It's very important. I'm just really grateful to be in a room with somebody who understands that this shit is important. You have to work on yourself. There is no greater work.
None.
Not being a mom, being in a relationship, your business, there is no greater work than yourself, because God is calling you. He's calling you. He's calling you. He's calling you. He's calling you. And you can't pick up because you are not at work.
You can't pick up because you're not at work. You done took the day off. You done called out. You told somebody prepare the others. PTO. You put the PTO and then missed the call from God. You done put the PTO in. Pick up the phone.
Candice,
God is on the main line. Tell them what you want. That's what they say.
You done called out. You done called your ass.
And God said, I've been ringing. But you talk about, God, you ain't doing nothing for me. He said, I called. It went straight to voicemail. Take your D&D off. You got God on Do Not Disturb.
How dare you? How dare you put God on D&D?
How dare
no,
you?
For real, there's been days. There have been days, Candice.
Yes, I know. That's why I said I am daily amazed at the reach of posts. Like when I see different people, public figures, right? And I just say public figures because everybody's like me, right?
Yeah.
But people that others would recognize.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, this reached there, you know, like that's pretty amazing, God. Or you felt like what I had to say, they needed to hear that too. You feel like I'm a messenger.
You are.
You feel like even in my mess, I'm still a messenger, right? And so when you have those conversations, that's how it was like chosen. You can still be chosen, even broken, you know, and it doesn't, because God is looking at heart posture.
Yes. Oh my God, that's good.
It's like, where is your heart posture? Candice, I'm not looking for you to be perfect. I'm looking for you to be present. Present with me, present with yourself, present with the people in your life. I'm looking for that. I'm not sitting here saying that you're not going to make mistakes. You came into a world of sin.
Yes.
You were born into it. There was no way we could be perfect. We were already born into it.
Yep. Yep.
So all I'm trying to see is, do you understand how to course correct? Or do I have to do it? Now, do you understand, okay, you know what? I made a mistake. I shouldn't have did that. I need to be aware. I need to change something. I'm just trying to see, do you understand? God will still bless it. So when you see people and you're like, wait, man, they still get, because God is like, but their heart at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I know where their heart is. And that's all I'm really looking for.
That's so good. That's so good. We could talk for hours. I could just feel it. We could talk for hours. I am so grateful.
What the song say? I could do this for
hours.
And hours.
And hours. And hours. And hours. Oh my God. I've been getting goosebumps the whole damn time. Oh my God. I've been wanting to snatch my earrings off and everything and just run. I'm telling you, when you hit something good, the first thing you want to do is just praise and just hit it. I mean,
prostrate, just fall out, just perform,
the drama of it all. I'm telling you, but I really appreciate you. I love you. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so grateful to have witnessed your growing community, your growing, just all of it. I'm your growing purpose, just how you show up. I am just grateful to be in a space with you because of your poise, even though you have a story. And I love the fact that you came here and was able to be vulnerable and transparent. And that makes me feel so good because the space that was created for you today. And I'm so grateful for you. And I'm so happy that you said yes.
Oh, man.
Because I was like, this is my second time asking her. If she say no.
Now, listen, I'm done with her. I'm done with her. Jesus, I know she on a journey, but I'm done with her.
But God told me you. Yeah. And this was before I even, because I took a fast from social media.
Sure.
And God showed me who I need to contact. And I was like, Candice done already told me no. Now
But this was it. But this was the yes, right? This was the yes because it came and it was aligned for me, like just for where I was. And it just was aligned. Yeah. It was just aligned. That's all I can say. Like everything and sometimes, right, the no is not a denial.
It's not a
It's the
denial,
delay,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
not yes for this,
Yeah.
but there's good happens fast, great happens slow.
Yep.
God is like, no, you all would do good stuff over here, but I want you
Yeah.
to do something greater
Yep.
here.
Yep.
And so there's going to be a time, but this isn't it. And I'm glad that the times aligned. And
Yes.
thank you for creating a space to feel safe to share,
Yeah.
because I think that is really important.
Yeah.
I always personally feel like that. Like I want people to feel safe with me, and not that they have to pour, right? But just that you feel safe, that you feel seen.
Yeah.
Right? Because people want to be seen, valued,
See
and
me.
heard.
Yes.
And
See
so
me.
thank you for seeing me. Thank you for
Yes.
valuing me. And thank you for hearing me.
Yes,
and thank you
absolutely.
for what you're doing, because I know it's not easy, right? And so I don't know who this is for.
Yes.
It's for me. It's for you. And it's for anybody else who's listening.
This is so good. I just be waiting for the beat to drop. Because it feels like you about to bust out in a freestyle, and I'll be like, "What we about to do? Show me!"
Right.
It's always feeling like it's supposed to be a song, a hit. This is a hit.
I don't know why God didn't give me no vocals, because
mean,
I would have
but
had
you
a
got-
song with
You
it.
got the rap. I'm ready. I'm like, this about to be number one, man. What we doing?
I've been praying on it. I promise, because everybody's like, do you have a podcast? I said, in time.
So good. It would be so
but
good.
again, and it's about listening, because just because others feel like you should be doing something,
It's not your time
doesn't
yet.
mean that you're
Yep.
supposed to. And again, obedience is where I am at this
Yes.
point. I have stepped out the wheel. I know what it's like to be out the way. I know what it's like to miss the call.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sitting like this with the phone every day.
Yes. Did I miss
Did I
the
miss
bell
it?
tone?
Is it? I'm in the shower with the phone. I ain't missing it. So I understand what y'all think I should be doing. But G-O-D. You think?
Exactly. I love that so much. Let people know how they can reach you, what you got going on, all of that stuff.
Yeah, so you can reach me. I hang out a lot on Instagram.
Yes,
so
you do.
That's always a good way to find me. Candice Denise there. I'm on TikTok as well, but I'm by Candice Denise.
Okay.
And I have upcoming, which I'm really excited about, my very first retreat that I'm hosting. And so myself and an intimate group of women, we're going to be traveling to Tulum, Mexico for Destination Reinvention is what it's called. And so and it's really based off of the book that I read, that You Are Badass, and it's really about helping women tap into their inner badass and greatness through self-care, through connection, connect, replenish, and grow. And that's really what Destination Reinvention is about. So we're going to be doing that for the week in December. So December 11th through the 18th, we'll be going to Tulum.
I may have to talk to my husband and see what's up.
Now,
Because that sounds like my type of party.
Mr. Duncan, do you think? Do you think? So I'm really excited, and you got the first premiere of it here. So I dropped it first here, so I'm really excited.
Y'all, please make sure that you follow Candice Denise on Instagram. I am so grateful that you all stopped by again, and I'm sure that somebody got something from this. And I just want to say I'm grateful to you all. I'm grateful for your friends, your aunties, all of y'all who have been sharing. Thank you so much, and I love y'all. Mwah. Healing doesn't have an expiration date. You have to keep working on it. You can't grow and continue to live the life of a trash person. It's just not going to work. I don't know where I would be without God. I'm being honest. Like, yeah, I curse a lot, but I don't know where I would be without God. I truly get it. I mean, I empathize with you. I just feel like I wouldn't have done it that way.